sermon works only if you know who Desmond Tutu is. So let me ask, not to put anyone down, is there anyone in this room who's not familiar with who Desmond Tutu is, Archbishop Desmond Tutu? Raise your hand, I just like to know. All right. South African Archbishop. He and Nelson Mandela effectively ended apartheid in South Africa. He was the Nobel Peace Prize winner back in the early 90s, I believe. Okay? A giant of a man, despite the fact he's a tiny little person. And he is to South Africa what Martin Luther King is to the United States. All right, so I gotta just put that in context. All right? He also has a great love for the General Theological Seminary because he was a visiting professor of theology during the years. And apparently the day he received his notification that he had won the Nobel Peace Prize, they actually pulled him out of class, and the class buddy got fired for saying something controversial. All right, this sermon works now that you know who he is and you know how important he is. All of the commentaries, and there's about 8 or 9 of them that I go through before I even begin to put thoughts down to reflect upon sermons, have a warning that since this is a portion of the gospel that is read on Maundy Thursday, anyone who is in your church on Maundy Thursday is immediately going to turn off because they expect or they think they know what you're going to say. And unfortunately, because it functions on what it means to love and how important it is that we be people of love, you just kind of roll your eyes. Because we've heard that word so many times, it is the most overused, subjectively meaningless word in our vocabulary. If you can use the same word to say your relationship to ice cream and your relationship to your favorite sports team and to your parents or your children can be described by love, what does the word mean? I love chocolate, I love my wife, I love this parish, I love the parishioners, most of the time. I love watching arrogant people get theirs publicly, which is a weakness on my part. Loretta, your daughter, many months ago on a Wednesday evening, once asked myself and a group of people, how do you know when you love? And that wasn't just a snitty question, that was from the heart or from the soul. How do you know when you love? The other night, the last confirmation class, apparently one of the gentlemen made the mistake of grabbing a larger slice of pizza that one of the young ladies would have wanted. And her comment to him was theologically proper. She said to him, I love you. At this moment, I do not like you. We laugh at this, but if the word can mean so many different things, then what does it mean? God so loved the world that he sent his son. Jesus says to us, I give you a new, and he doesn't say suggestion or aspiration or ideal. He says, I give you a commandment. You must love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love each other. And I began to think about what that means and how sheepishly we are when it comes to that, and demonstrating that. You know, he loved his followers unselfishly. Most of the times we human beings, let's be honest, our love is a reaction and a reflection to the way people respond to us. And there's a certain amount of self that has to be involved in it. You know, I'm so happy when our love is accepted, and I'm down when our love is rejected. And yet Jesus' desire was to give himself totally for us, and that we would do so for one another. Which leads to a second point. He loved sacrificially. There was no limit. There was no demand that was too much. Love for him meant a journey to the cross. And there is no journey to resurrection without going through the cross. And if you do not tell people that truth, that that is the only way, then you are not being a person of love. I'm talking about myself now, as a pastor and as a guide. If love means the cross, and we're all called to love, then that's the journey we walk together for each other. Jesus loved with acceptance. He saw people for what they really are. He saw people with their flaws and their warts and their imperfections. When we love, whether it's the person that we're sharing our life with, or whether it's our children who are going to leave us someday, or all of the other categories where we use that word, our love basically becomes at times toleration because we are affected by their moods and their weaknesses and their very foolish decisions. And quite frankly, they are affected by our moods and our weaknesses and our foolish decisions. People may be blind. Love is not blind. God is love. God is not blind. And God loves us in spite of what we are. Because through Christ, God loves us forgivingly. Of that group he said this to, you must love each other as much as I love you. Remember, one is going to betray him, one is going to deny him, they're all going to abandon him, and not one of them is going to understand. His closest friends were blind, insensitive, lacking understanding, and frankly cowardly. And he loved them, and he loves us. But we do so sheepishly. We don't want to talk about it. So this brings the story of Desmond Tutu, and the reason I raise this is because many of you may have seen that he was brought to the hospital earlier this week. He's a man in his 90s now. He's a person in very frail health. And when he passes, one of the great men of the 20th, 21st century, he's returning home to God. So let me tell you about Desmond Tutu and the scene that I observed. Back in 2010, the General Seminary named a whole new wing after him because of his relationship with the seminary. So he flew in spite of his rather frail health, to be the main guest of honor at the opening of the Desmond Tutu Center at the General Theological Seminary. And as you can imagine, anyone who was anybody who was important was going to be there. So I mean, from the religious world, there was a representative from the Archbishop of Canterbury, the presiding bishop, more bishops than you know what to do with were showing up there. All sorts of important clergy types are all flooding into this big important ceremony. Plus, there's a political side to this. This is a Nobel Peace Prize winner, okay? So the governor was there, Bloomberg was there, all sorts of important political people were there. I didn't care about any of that. Joanne was in seminary at the time. What I cared about in my own selfish little world is I'm supposed to pick her up on the last day of class and bring her back home. And I'm supposed to carry her books, and we didn't have things, okay? I had a laptop computer, which was kind of heavy, and that was my job. I'm the chauffeur and the schlep, and I bring all this stuff back home. And all I'm thinking about is everyone and their mother is going to be at this celebration. Every parking garage around the seminary is going to be filled. And it was, okay? I ended up parking like miles away, finally. And I get there, and I can't find Joanne anywhere. And the place is just filled with very important people wearing red, or very important people with bodyguards, and I figure from the two worlds. And I'm just kind of weaving my way in and out, trying to find my wife so I can pick her up and take her home. And the only place that I could not get a hold of her because her cell phone wasn't working. I'm saying the only place where the cell phone doesn't work is the area around the library. For some reason, it's a dead zone. I said, I wonder if she's there. So as I'm walking to this space right outside the library, in this corner, which is kind of darkened from the way the lights are positioned, there's Joanne on a bench talking to Desmond Tutu. And they're talking to each other. Now, I will confess to you, the first thought that entered into my mind did not come out of my mouth. All right? Because the first thought was, what on earth is she talking to him about? And gratefully, I did not say that. So I kind of stayed back. They finished talking. He went one way, she went another. And I said, honey, do you know? She said, of course I know who that is. I said, what happened? Well, apparently what had happened was he got kind of tired and bored of all of the accolades and the speeches and whatnot. He just cut out and escaped for a little bit. She was in the library working on a term paper that was due yesterday, and she got tired of the research and the work, and she'd been in there for hours, and she cut out and escaped for a little bit. And they ended up escaping for a little bit on the same bench. And they just started talking to each other. And I said to him, okay, what did he say to you? And she looked at me and she said, always be audacious. Always be audacious. In other words, whatever you do it boldly. Do it with conviction. Do it like it's real and it's meaningful, and your life depends on it. This is coming from a person who brought down apartheid. All right? This is coming from a person who was beaten up and imprisoned, and all of the other things that we associate with a real, genuine hero of his people, and yet a person who never failed to love his enemies. And yet, in spite of his 5'1", 90-pound frame, when he walks into a room, he fills it because he is a giant. If we are to be Christians and take the message seriously, if we are to fulfill the Lord's command to love one another, always be audacious. If there is a reason one has to be reconciled to a sister or brother, do it. If there is a reason this world of ours is in such sorry shape, it's because we as Christians have failed to do so audaciously. We do not love sacrificially and forgivingly. What are we afraid of? And why are we hiding? The most powerful person, the person of God, has walked among us. And he has said, I give you a new commandment. You want to be my follower? Then love each other as much as I love you.